5 p.m. So we'll start this December 12th HCDPA meeting. Sarah, can you take a roll, please?
Sure. Chair Moranti,
Here.
Vice Chair Smith is absent. Treasurer Wallace.
Right.
Oh, you're okay, so maybe we should wait.
I'm just on the phone.
Ryan's finishing a call and Ravonda did say that she could be here, so if that's good at that. Right in the car.
We should just have you drop that off and City Hall.
Yeah, whenever he is best to see that, maybe it's, I'm about to go.
Well, even before it's done, you could leave it. We're not leaving it. Moving with that once it's- Just saying.
That could be great. You know, Monday the 18th, I mean. Do my letter? Do you gotta come up with?
Yeah,
You finish school.
I don't remember.
That seems very serious. Give me a second.
No.
All right. I don't know what it is, but good.
Do we have forms?
You have a quorum. Ravonda's coming. Well, we think Ravonda's coming, but
Bang that gavel, sir.
yeah, let's do it.
Wait on you.
I'm done. I'm
Okay.
all, I'm all. He was starting to come in and poop too before, and I was like, oh, wait, and I'm like, no, you can come in and sit down, like, I got my earbuds in.
Sarah, can you please call the roll?
Okay, oh, there we go. Welcome, okay. Chair Moranti.
Here.
Vice Chair Smith. Here. Treasurer Wallace.
Present.
Secretary Joyner is absent, and Mayor Johnson.
Present.
Great.
Next is, the minute. Did we get the minutes? Did I miss it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
Sarah touched them, thank you.
great, thank you. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes?
I will motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No. No, thank
For the
you.
record, that was a
For the record, that was a bad joke. It was a horse joke, actually, I guess.
Admin report?
admin report. This is where I'm gonna say that I submitted a letter of not exactly resignation, but like initiating a transition. I have started a new job and other things have ramped up at my first job, and yeah, I just don't think I'm able to meet a particularly high or exciting professional standard in basically like all the administrative stuff. It's amazing how much mental load it is. And I think that job could be a cool opportunity for somebody else to, yeah, earn a little money on the side and serve the city. We can talk about this later in the agenda, because I think I wish that one of the pieces of evidence that I am not operating at a really high standard is that I couldn't get this letter to you earlier, but I do think that it's really important that we move like effectively to try to find a replacement in time for me to train them like through the audit process, and the letter that I sent out really details that timeline. So we can talk about that.
Well, I think that it should be just put into the record, because next month there's gonna be totally new board.
I don't think it's gonna be a totally new board.
At least two.
Who are the two?
Would be the two.
Yeah.
It would be Ryan and myself.
Are you, well, it's unclear. We know,
Oh,
we know Ryan's,
minority.
we know Ryan's
Yeah,
stepping down.
I won't be, well, I won't be here.
Right,
Because
But
these are, what's the term?
yeah, it's in there.
You serve because of what you are.
Yeah.
That,
Right.
yeah.
Right. But you could be nominated to either majority or minority leader, so you could return,
Yeah,
yes.
If it goes that way.
But what I'm suggesting is that actually putting this off to initiate action in January will be a disaster for the.
I think at the very least, like, well, I mean, big step back. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Because
Yeah.
this thing has been a mess for a while, I think everybody would kind of agree, and you kind of got in here, and in 2 years, you took the proverbial bull by the horns, you cleaned up a lot of stuff. You got thoughtful archiving going with records that maybe not now, but 50 years from now, people will want to look into. And that preservation alone for what this organization was created for is incredibly commendable.
Yeah.
So to the asks in your letter, I mean, I don't know, do we need like a motion in a second to like accept the communication?
What if we don't accept it?
I'm not a.
Wow.
No.
You don't just have that at this job.
Because I know, because I'm empathetic on it, I make the motion to accept the letter.
I'll second, and thank you so
Yeah.
much, like you've been underpaid and put in so much work for us.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
appreciated.
And I would love to just speak on the housing authority and like Sarah, I was able to move mountains once you got here. Without you, I don't think I would have got anywhere, so seriously.
Thank you. I mean, thank you all. Like Michelle and I feel like have really been through such a journey. And everybody, yeah, it's really been my honor and I've learned a lot. I feel like y'all letting me, I mean, I think Ravonna and Colin were the only people who were here when I got hired, but
Yeah.
it was really a new experience for me and I learned a lot and it was a really helped me grow.
You've run it well. Be proud of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, and now we revoke the letter.
Well, the letter really makes some strong recommendations around timeline and then that makes a heartfelt ask that the board collaborate with me over the next year to the extent that I'm able to.
I would like to make a motion to actually see if we could get a job listing on our website through our app before the end of the holidays, like next week even, because to support you to transition, knowing that the audit is coming up, to get that out there now, there may be somebody who was looking for, you know, hey, what am I gonna do for money next year even, right? So even if it's a senior that wants to come in and assist, like, to start now, I'm in full agreement with that, because I would actually like to see you being able to be fully dialed off by no later than the end of January, so you are not going through that audit again.
That would be cool with me. I imagine, I mean, yeah, depending on whoever we hire and their level of experience.
Correct.
Like, I could see that going either way, but I imagine at some point needing to like. I'll probably have to get called in on some auditing questions, but that it could be like a short accelerated.
Who follows this? But yes, to the asks of like, can we get that started? So do we need like a motion in a second to approve the advertising of the role?
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Sorry, I take the notes as we go. Okay. Do we need, so can we go now, or do we need more discussion about what that would entail?
It's not really up to, well, I was gonna say, accepting your,
The resignation, yes, but
Yeah.
to lift the job. Well, I feel like that we need to create the text of the job call. And then advertise.
Description and all of that.
I
Yeah,
think we've got whatever the original was, plus what you added to it, and I think that's something, I don't know if we've got to vote on that. We've made the vote to
No, we're not.
advertise it, right? And then it's like, as long as we are in agreement there, like, we can work asynchronously to say, okay, what needs to go in this thing to get it up and online?
You may need to vote on the salary.
$1,000 a day.
so that is a
Like I'm now
question.
saying,
We could consider what the adjustment for inflation of $60 an hour is from when I started to now. We could keep it at 60, it's not a bad rate. the job that hired me away paid me 75, you could, so we could have that discussion now, or we could have it later in the agenda when we're actually like talking about it, if you'd like, but how should we proceed?
I think we should probably have some kind of time limit. Again, because the nature of January, it's organizational meeting and everything, so really, the first meeting is not gonna be into February.
That's not true, because I think that, I talked to Tom about this today. The majority minority leader will be decided early in January, and what we did last year was we just had a meeting later in January. So if we can get one scheduled, then.
Well, it's usually I think it's January 10th is our organizational meeting, that's when it's.
Determined.
Mhm.
Tom said that the caucuses meet like within like the first week of January.
Yeah, the caucus and everything, that doesn't, just because it's caucus, you gotta be approved to count.
So Donna, what I'm saying is that it will still be possible to schedule an HCDPA meeting with the new majority and minority leader in the month of January. We did it last year, and I think that we can do it this year. And I think we kind of have to. I don't know why we wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, if it can be done, yeah, I mean, but again, it's crunch time. I think putting everything like Brian said, in ducks in a row, getting the job, information out there, a time frame to receive it. So when that happens, it can happen quick,
Right.
because a lot of things, could happen, to get new people together in the same meeting, everything, up to speed on some things, right?
Yeah.
Well, we could vote to have the next meeting, what did you say, when's
Yeah,
your
that's what I was
organizational
gonna say.
meeting?
Usually it's like the 10th, right? Usually it's the January.
Is that on, Michael? is that
That's on the calendar,
Yeah.
What day of the week is, the first Tuesday of January?
The-
After the first week,
Well, the first Tuesday is the second, so the second would be
the
the
ninth.
ninth.
Okay, so that would technically be, because it's Tuesday, right, usually, if I remember right?
Mhm.
Or was it the organizational, then the informal, and then the,
I think it was organizational and formal.
And then
the
We got the
informal,
vote at the time. Everything was accepted. So I
Tom,
don't,
yeah, so Tom can tell us when, what we can do is just motion in second and say, we make it for
January
the
23rd.
within 2 days of the organizational.
the organizational meeting happens early and the caucus picks leaders around the same time. The first informal follows the usual schedule, second Monday, formal on the third Tuesday. That's what Tom said.
the organizational meeting's done before the formal, and that makes it official.
Right, but
Yeah,
the
that-
formal is usually the third week of the month, so that's just where like I was saying, like, we should make sure that this meeting in January will then fall within like 2 days of whenever whenever the organizational meeting is, because there could be a special meeting for the organizational meeting, which is what
I don't
Tom
think
can
they
call.
can because it's in our charter, I think. I think organization has to be on a certain day, or time, if I remember.
So I don't want to get too bogged down here, because I think what we're saying is that we recognize that scheduling a meeting in January will be tricky because we will be past our regular meeting time when we know who our new members are. But basically, as soon as I know who the new members are, my plan is to then harass them with information about this board and get a meeting scheduled. But hopefully before that time, we will have had some candidates apply and perhaps around the time of that meeting, be able to.
The council shall meet annually on the second Monday preceding the third Tuesday of January at 7 p.m. That's your organizational meeting. So, Michael, what is the second Monday preceding the third Tuesday
That's the eighth.
it'd be.
Third,
The second Monday is the eighth.
yeah, the
There's the
third,
second
The third
Tuesday.
Tuesday was the
the
16th.
16th. So the second, so it's the 8th.
All right, so there's your organizational will be the 8th, so make your first meeting January 10th.
I don't know that we can, I mean, we can go ahead and pencil that meeting in, but it's possible we'll have to reschedule just based on, we don't know who those people are and they might have. Like,
And then that meeting has to do their own organizational meeting, right?
Correct.
To do their own board for the first meeting.
Mhm. So the January meeting will have a agenda, we'll need to identify a new treasurer at the very least, it'll be a big meeting. But ideally before, and it could take place later in January, which could give us time to conduct a few interviews. That's my biggest question, is between now and a meeting potentially later in January, do we need additional authorizations to do something like,
Search committee or something, right?
yeah, can we nominate a search committee now? And in my letter, I recommended that Michelle and I serve on that search committee. I'm not sure who else would like to serve.
I would.
Again, I think it's tough because, again, we're gonna be missed. We can't, how can we say who's gonna be on a search committee without the other two?
Well, I'll be here,
Right, well,
so.
you're here in like 2 years.
I think this board has to take leadership that feeds
Yeah,
into
I mean,
this
we can't,
board.
we
And so
can't
we
just sit
can't,
around and wait.
yeah, we can't sit around.
I'm not saying, I said make a plan, right? I'm not saying sit around, right?
I know, but everything on the plan, you just keep
All right,
shutting down.
I think, that logically, I would say, get the job posting out. And then instead of a search committee, it's like an interview committee in a way, because right, as long as right now, put the announcement out to try to get some interest. And then you can decide on like, okay, if we didn't get any interest, then you have to go ahead on find folks. But in the interim, once it's public, I mean, anybody can send that around to anybody and just see who comes in, and then you guys get together your first meeting and start reviewing all of the resumes, if you will, for what came in, but I wouldn't delay it to start the whole process later, because then you're gonna be almost into February and you have the audit that needs to
Yeah.
get going. I will not be available to assist with the audit.
And I'll be in trouble if I'm doing it by myself. So I think what I'm trying to suggest is that, can we think strategically, as so I think you're right, Dominic, where like you shouldn't step up for the search committee because it's unclear if you'll be on the board next year, but.
well, the problem is I would like to be on it because being here for 2 years and I know the value and trying to match somebody like you. To take your place, it's gonna be difficult.
I know, but also, I mean, it's.
But I have no say.
Yeah, well, I don't think you have no say because we will review a set of candidates,
Well,
like
he won't
the
have to
interview
say-
committee
if
can
he
make
doesn't get
recommendations.
picked to be minority or majority.
Yeah, exactly. If you stay on the board,
Like
like,
changes everything.
you'll be a part of
Right.
confirming whatever recommendation that the interview committee would make,
Correct.
but we can't wait. We can't wait to start the search. However, it's also true that if we learn that you're on the committee on January 8th or whatever, that you're on the board, then you could take part in the interviews later in January. So it's kind of like we could provisionally, we could have a motion where somebody could say, let's create this committee, and inclusive in the motion could be that, Dominic Moranti is a member pending.
Yeah,
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So far it's Kamal, Michelle, and I with potential, No from you, no from you.
well, you also have Teresa, if she's still chair.
That's true, but Teresa is not here today.
No, I'm saying as another member that can carry that meeting,
That's true.
you know.
Do we need, is it possible that we can have a core committee, and then the motion could say that other members, if they are still serving in January, can serve on the interviews?
I think I think we're overcomplicating, and I think it's just get the announcement of it out there.
Okay.
That's public
We can
domain.
do it online.
Yeah, and then send it to the council, ask the council to send it out. Nothing stops Michelle or the mayor from sending it out, or Lavonda from posting it within the HHA organization to, we need help. I mean, the reality is, this is the devastating part about losing you, because it's hard to find anybody really that wants to step into something like this. I mean, that was part of the reason to make the pay attractive and more. So, I mean, I'd say step one is just get the general description out there and see what interest comes in, and send it to all the organizations within the city and say, hey, does anybody know anybody? And then get the applications, and then together, at least you can start sifting through the pile. Because there's no one's gonna make a decision on who it is until the next the next meeting
Right,
with, which to Dominic's point, will have whoever the new minority and majority leader are.
so if it's later in the month, there should be plenty of time potentially to.
Yeah, what's today, the 12th, 13th, 12th? So you figure if the organizational meeting is the 8th, by the 12th, that's 1 month of sourcing from everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be, we could make some good progress.
Dear candidates.
Okay, so y'all have voted motioned to accept my letter, and we
I
have,
removed my acceptance.
have we, oh, okay, y'all have motioned to create to issue a job call.
Correct.
Okay, and then that's all we need.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is in the admin report section. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to share about. I think we've covered it, just anticipating for those who will still be with us that January will be dense. And if you, are staying, if you end up staying, then, we'll just, definitely look to the incumbent members of the board to just help support any new members and, orienting to the project. Okay. That's it for the admin report.
Treasury report?
Before, no, I don't think we had anything in or out again this month.
We had, well, I think we, let me look at
Or
my,
is Michael driving?
Michael's not driving, but we have on our books this month, and here's the paperwork for the CD. So that was
Oh,
an
yeah.
internal,
Oh, that's my stuff from, yeah.
yeah,
I thought we covered that at the last meeting, but I know I dropped off a separate copy to Michelle for the HTF as well, I believe.
okay,
Or I emailed it to everybody, so you all have the digital copy and that written copy of the CD. So yeah, the only activity was the 250,000 placed in a 9-month, 5% CD. And the Bank of Greene County has the information based on a copy of the bylaws of the HCDPA that when the new treasurer is elected, they just have to bring in a letter from the chair of the HCDPA and a copy of the minutes authorizing them to receive the funds to transfer back into the Housing Trust Fund account at that time.
cool.
So basically, it doesn't have, while I was the signator on it, I'm not required to go to be a signator to receive the funds for the CLI funds. So it basically sets it up for whomever the next treasurer is to be able to do it unencumbered. Well,
Speaking of that, should we, some kind of notation on what that process is to remove and put the additional signatures on it, whoever's,
Yeah,
because that time frame really was off.
that, yeah, I was gonna say, that is something I would say you should do within that first month, like, so if everybody at your organizational meeting is available, I would almost see if you could do it at like a 2 o'clock or a 3 o'clock and then
walk over to the.
walk over to the bank and go on in and say, okay, hi, this is who you take off the account, this is who you put on the account, you do the minutes live at that point, print them out, take them with you, and then you can at least.
You're talking about the first meeting.
Yeah,
So
and this way, it's
so-
banked out, and yeah, you're not waiting.
Yeah, it definitely can't happen until after we confirm a new treasurer,
Yeah,
so
and the notes are in place.
I will try to prepare for that.
Next, do we have next? Is that good for treasurer?
There's the one set of bills that I did present were invoices from Chris Shale's office, and neglected to include, it was sent to me on time, but I missed it, but we did get a bill for Michelle's salary, but I didn't submit it for the last quarter, so I'll have to do, we'll.
Aren't you glad she's going? I mean, she's forgetting to pay, like.
That's what I'm saying. It's I am overloaded, so, but that will be in January, and Michael's relaxed about that, so.
Okay. Are
Does
you
that affect
covered
you?
right now?
Yeah, I get
Okay.
paid no matter.
That's what I wanna make
This
sure,
just
like-
reimburses the city.
Perfect, thank you.
I think even for Q3.
This is Q3, so then we can also do the Q3 and Q4.
Together,
Okay,
yeah.
If Heather has them.
Next, there's resolutions and
Well, can we get a motion to approve the payment to Christian?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
wait, what do we do? Wait, I'm sorry, what do we do? We're making a motion
To approve paying Chris.
this time, okay.
Yeah.
This time, okay.
Yeah.
I, great.
So Ravana motion and Brian seconded and
Okay, why am I here? Okay.
all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, sorry.
Cool. I don't think there are any additional resolutions and motions. I'll give you the floor. Mr. Chair.
Oh, my turn now? Okay, what we got? Oh, business?
Oh, wait, I've got one sort of related to the bill of Chris, and it's kind of old and new, so Chris will be moving, and I just wanna flag that you may need to find new legal representation as well next year, because I don't think it's even confirmed that she'll stay on for the IDA,
No, it's not.
so,
It should be remote for a while, but
so
We're gonna need
just,
somebody transitional,
yeah,
transition.
Yeah. This is
That's
part of
gonna-
why, yeah.
Okay, put that on in January.
Well, that's part of why I don't think things are gonna be wrapped up for me by the end of January.
well, if you wanna be a lawyer, pay $360.
Yeah. Let's see how, I'd love to just BS my way through that job. That's it, I'm sorry, that's so true. Sorry to the members of the public for that.
Margaret and Vicky are like, oh my God, what is going on?
Okay, that's right, yeah, I have been thinking about that too.
Yeah, so that, it's gonna be a lot of change in January. I would recommend Dominic, if you can, I would email Chris and ask if maybe like she's planning to potentially offload to Victoria, or do we see if she can just do it remote via Zoom for the first month and then make the recommendation as to whom would be good.
Was someone in Victoria's office, because I don't know if Victoria be the lawyer for the planning and ours too.
There, how many people are on this? Four terms?
I think so.
Something like that. So yeah, somebody within there, or if Chris can at least do an addendum for a month or something to carry us through, or at least get you through the audit.
Yeah, I didn't have to agree to it, so.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. I will await further instructions based on like what actually changes with Chris's work and when, but I'll try to communicate with her about it.
yep,
Yeah, I guess, I mean, really, we have to get, she's gonna have to, give her the resignation because we signed the
Exactly.
contract, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to update anything until she.
We don't need to change anything now, but it was heads up.
Yeah, put that on the tickler. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Okay, next is old business, HTF. Fund,
Oh, yeah, the CD fund, I think we already talked about this, but it's,
CD's locked.
CD's locked, it's live.
And I know Michelle and I talked, I would just say, if HTF is interested in doing another one, so you've got the stair graduating, in terms of how you get them back, I would do it sooner rather than later, because I don't know I don't know how long the interest rates will stay as high as they are for that. So,
We can look at the cash flow for what, based on what's planned, see if that makes sense.
because that's, what did I say was left in their account, like 218. So even if you moved over like 150, it's a pretty penny on the return.
Yeah, we have to think about the cash flow, but we can do that.
I mean, that has made a resolution, that's.
That is, we can, yeah, we, that's on the agenda, but not in the resolutions and motions section, maybe that's kind of not.
That's on the agenda,
Yes.
that's what matters.
So, okay, what, can we move to Hudson Housing Trust Fund
yeah,
updates?
I'll do that.
No updates really moving along. We're wrapping up our first CDBG project. Should get another one wrapped up next week. That's exciting. All other projects are moving along. We're gonna, I got one question, like, I kind of raised this last time, but didn't really get a clear answer. So for the Housing Trust Fund Committee, some members, want to, some half of them, their term is up. Some of them want to renew and like get a new term. Would you guys like to see a new letter of interest and resume, or just?
For you.
For the HCDPA.
I was like, are you kidding me right now?
For the HCDPA board members.
Yeah, if there's, members who've been on it and they want to.
No, anybody who's gonna be renewed is like a proven.
Yeah,
It's like,
The only person has to do his resume every year is this guy over here. But
Okay, so, before the new, the new board meets in January, I'll have probably maybe have a new person or so, but otherwise, I'll just let you know who things would like to be reappointed, so you guys can do that at that January meeting. And then-
Michelle, I think you should do like just like one sheet for, the new people, so they can get up to speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely wanna meet with the new members and like give them a good intro to having trust funds. So.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe it's good practice for them to email us or like somehow say in writing, like, I do plan to return, but like in a simple way.
Sure.
I don't know if that is important, but
And
I
a
think
deadline.
just a letter of,
Yeah, and
yeah, just be like, I plan to renew, period. My-
give them a deadline so we can fill positions again, to make sure that you're getting your quorums,
Mhm. Yeah, we'll be fine with that. Out of the 8 we have now, definitely 5 are returning, maybe 6. And then if it's 6, then I'll look for maybe a 7th person, but we'll be fine with that.
Okay. Great.
is that it? Okay, thank you. And the audit update?
The auditor engagement.
I think the chair and the mayor heard this at the IDA meeting. So the letter of engagement came back from UHY. I actually tried asking around to a few other organizations, including like Ackerman, CARP, and others, because we need a municipal audit and not a traditional audit. It does cost a little bit more for the specialty. And when I shared with the city treasurer that the price has gone up by $1,000, which is very hard for us being nonprofit, I was a little taken aback until she shared with me what the cost of the city's audit is going up to. And just across the board, she said, don't sneeze at the extra 1,000 that they're asking for, because cost of business, inflation, whatever you want to call it, prices are up across the board. So in hearing that from Heather directly, I'm comfortable with recommending that we move forward with this letter of engagement from UHY to do the audit. They did a great job last year. They got our finances completely ironed out. The only thing that they'll have to factor in now is that new letter that we have from the Galvin Foundation recognizing the unpaid 120,000, which you can't give to Sarah, so we're gonna miss her. But making sure that that gets factored into what is owed to our organization overall. So I'll make the motion to sign and accept.
I'll second.
All in favor?
I
Okay.
I will sign that tomorrow and send that over to Nicole.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next is public, because we went through your.
Oh, now we're in new business. So we need to talk about the HHTF writer.
Okay, okay,
I'm sorry, yeah, it is it's the Hudson Roots writer.
okay, gotcha.
And I did share that document with you all, though I don't have, I can only look at it.
So here was my question on the rider. Is there still money left over that they had already been granted? And it's just like to continue doing it, or is it a new sum?
No, so it's, they're out of all the money from 2023.
Yeah,
So this is to, the Housing Trust Fund Board committed $50,000 for
Correct.
2024. And this is to, Housing Roots for Promise Neighborhood,
Right.
to disperse under the same exact terms as last year.
so as long as there is, and you're confirming at a meeting, HTF decided in like like, they have decided they have voted on doing it for 2024.
Mhm.
Perfect,
Yeah.
because that's all we need, because that's my point was that I can't vote on it for a precedence thing,
Yeah.
Right.
but as long, because like the bank is easy because we have that fiduciary responsibility, but as long as they have voted to do it,
Mhm.
then yeah, then we can go ahead and do it, because it is the wishes is voted on by that,
Right.
because it is an outside entity. It'd be like you saying, yeah, you can give Ramonda that check, and I was like, oh, here you go, like, you know, exactly,
No, yes, formally voted on.
perfect.
And Michelle, just like Brian said, it is in writing, so it matches up for ABL, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
So we do have it.
it's what we submitted on our.
Yeah, that's what I just wanted to make sure, because that's where I was like, continuance, if it was like, what was the organization I forgot, was it Hudson Roots where we had money from one year that didn't get spent, so we were able to say like, yeah, you can keep spending it, because it still hits the original purpose of what was voted
I think
on.
that's through.
Oh, that's right, that's when we
That's
funded
right,
it
yeah,
for
yeah,
St.
yeah.
Catherine's
Yeah.
so we.
But
have
it is, but yeah, so as long as it's new and it's HTF's voted upon wishes, then that's it, I have no issues.
So then when would that check get cut?
So that is actually important. So because it would get cut and signed, I think no earlier than the first meeting in January.
Is it in 2 phases though?
It's in 2 phases.
2 phases again, yeah.
And it's an increase over last year. This year we did 35 and next year we're doing 50.
Mhm.
And so it would be a $25,000 check from the HHTF and,
So that can all be prepped for that first meeting though, because
Yeah.
once they have their first meeting and they decide who the treasurer is, their first act is to endorse.
right, yeah.
And I think, also for promise, if they know, like, within these days, they can get that done, then we
Yeah.
can actually start working down these.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I would tell them they'll probably have it no later than 24th would be the latest of January.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, Michelle, is the money already extinguished from the first, last year?
Yeah. for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, at the last meeting in the minutes, I think you had said, or maybe one before.
Yeah, I
Like
gave a,
the 2000,
a brief report, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's that.
Yeah. So did we get a motion in
Can I have a motion to accept the waiver?
the writer?
The writer.
The right,
I'll make that motion.
A second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Okay, now we're in public comment.
Yeah, because we covered the administrative coordinator already.
Any public comment?
Elise, Margaret, Vicky, any public comment?
Sure, okay.
Motion to adjourn.
The motion to do. A second.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, so Ryan.
All in favor? Thank you, Ryan, for.
Thank you,
Yes.
Ryan.
It's been real, y'all. One more, next week. Don't wear my tap shoes. I would say if we want a Google Doc it,
The job description?
and I'll bang that out with you this week.
Cool. Yeah, I got it.
Oh, yeah.
Are you saying?
Thank you.
Literally, tonight, yeah. I got this,
But
That's why you do
one,
first 3 minutes of the
Alright.
meeting.
you need to sign for yours.
I didn't even present it for
Yeah, you don't need to, you know, so I'm pretty sure I, our customers, working for, typical, trying to.
Right.
Reach out to information. Reach out to the information to get you in the, let them know people I need this as well. Yeah, can you screenshot that and send it? Yes. Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow.
Yes, and that's what he was saying, he's like, that's gonna be good to do it tomorrow.
He said that they forward the email to him and he texted me immediately. Yeah. I mean. It's the same feed they're using for the flag.
Good.
Hey,
Sarah, you're gonna be locked in my basement.
Wow, that's fun. That's like very liberating, like, to do everything. Are you gonna just leave me?
I know.
I can even like rent my house out, you know.
Yeah, she's right right now, she'll do that.
Honestly, like listed on Airbnb. You know?
hey,
Go all out.
Claire, do I have to sign anything to be? or-
No, I forgot to print the checks, that's part of my professional failure. But I will, follow up with you offline, maybe sort of like run through. We were trying to coordinate a meeting with you.
January is gonna be,
Hell of fun.
it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really,
Are you hoping to return in this capacity or? You don't know.
I mean, I have no problem with it. If people think I did, it's about, the members.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have company.
Well, that's another thing, to have that, but, I mean, it is what it is. I like doing it.
I like doing this too, but I just can't anymore, I feel like that. We got one door.
I'm good for it. Excited you for the project.
I might. That's really good. Or a long time. Are you on already?
I'm excited. Uber.
Yeah.
Well,
With the amendment, yes.
oh, that's okay.
I thought that, remember being Victoria filled it out, I thought everything was good.
Yeah, there was just something left over from before that was still there then.
The one that I did was absolutely wrong, and they just took it.
It will be voted on,
Are we on television?
yeah.